AI is rewriting the business playbook, with productivity boosts and faster decision-making coming to every industry. If you're not thinking about AI, you can bet your competition is. This is not where you want to drop the ball. But AI requires a lot of compute power. And with most cloud platforms, the cost for your AI workloads can spiral. That is, unless you're running on OCI, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. This was the cloud built for AI, a blazing fast enterprise-grade platform for your infrastructure, database, apps, and all your AI workloads. OCI costs 50% less than other major hyperscalers for compute, 70% less for storage, and 80% less for networking. Thousands of businesses have already scored with OCI, including Vodafone, Thomson Reuters, and Suno AI. Now the ball's in your court.
Right now, Oracle can cut your current cloud bill in half if you move to OCI. Minimum financial commitment and other terms apply. Offer ends March 31st. See if your company qualifies for this special offer at oracle.com/strategic. That's oracle.com/strategic.
She's seen Encanto more times than she can count. And she can count to 10. She mentioned Mirabel in every conversation. But the moment she actually met Mirabel, she was speechless. That's pura magia. Find yours at Walt Disney World Resort.
5 years, 10 months, and 2 days. That's how long it took to grow the 38 inches to ride on Cali River Rapids. But the moment the wait finally ended, that was pura magia. Discover it at Walt Disney World Resort.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you, you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard, based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Upgrade the whole team at Lenovo.com. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device. Win the tech search for business PCs at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Episode 490, The Beginner's Guide to Zero-Based Budgeting.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast, where you'll learn to save money, embrace simplicity, and live a richer life. Here are your hosts, Jen and Jill.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast. My name is Jen.
My name is Jill.
And today we are talking about zero-based budgeting and how we would like to kind of shape it and form it around values-based spending and all of the spending psychology that we talk about on the show and then also in our book, Buy What You Love Without Going Broke.
There can be a lot of these terms used in the personal finance space about different ways to pay off debt, different ways to budget, and it can feel so confusing. So we're just breaking down one particular method to budgeting. Spoiler alert, they're all pretty much the same. Some of it just has to do with the type of approach, mindset, the ways in which you kind of manipulate the numbers. But we'll get into all that.
Yeah.
But first, this episode is brought to you by Ms. Frizzle, my favorite childhood guide to the world of all of the sciences. If you also loved the Magic School Bus, or you just like the idea of a fun guide on typically boring subjects, let us be your Ms. Frizzle through our YouTube channel. We're making frugal fun and money management shame-free and approachable with a new series weekly called the Sunday Reset, where we are recapping our week of meal plans. We are talking about a money move that we made that week, and we're answering a listener question. So it's like all of our favorite things combined into a short 30 minutes every single Sunday. If this sounds like exactly what you need, subscribe to Frugal Friends Podcast on YouTube, and you can watch our first episode that just went live this past Sunday.
Yeah, so Frugal Friends podcast.com/YouTube, or just search Frugal Friends on YouTube. It is very fun. And so I'm very excited. And you'll also see the link in the description on YouTube if you want to submit your own question.
And you'll get to see our new studio set up.
Yes. Yes. So we are so excited to bring you guys more video, to show you guys our face more in 2025. And we just think that YouTube is going to be a way that we can help more people in a new way. So there's going to be more to come on there, not just us sitting down and talking to each other. Even though we know you guys would like that, we're not going to stop there. We could do more.
So many more ideas.
We could do more. But we could do more.
In 2025, yeah.
All right. If budgeting is something that you want to get better at, then we have a lot of episodes on quote unquote budgeting. We also call it a spending plan. So whatever you have fewer negative feelings about, you can call it whatever you like. It's more or less the same thing. We also have some other episodes like 471, budgeting tips for 2025. And then episode 444, try this Japanese art of mindful budgeting. I really like that one. So I would really encourage you all. You can pretty much just search Japanese art, mindful budgeting, frugal friends, and it will come up for you in any podcast player. So let's get started with zero-based budgeting, and by first defining what it is. So zero-based budgeting is a type of budgeting where essentially you are just spending 100% of your income on paper. And so that has a...
Not on buying paper.
Right.
If you were to write it down.
Right. Where you are basically Dunder Mifflin and you are buying 100% paper.
Paper, that's all you need.
Or on an app. But it's essentially you calculate your income and then 100% of that gets spent in some way, shape, or form. And everybody is essentially creating a zero-based budget. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, congratulations, you are already zero-based budgeting, right? If you're not going into debt, then congratulations.
So here's how it works before we kind of get into the exact how-tos, like the framework is what we want to describe here. And they talk about in this article, imagining your finances like a puzzle where every piece or every dollar kind of has a place to go and they fit together. They use the word perfectly, and I'm going to say you're never, ever going to make a perfect budget.
Well, that is one of the downsides to zero-based budgeting because it does lean to this perfection mentality. So if you cannot spend your money perfectly in the way that you have allotted it all, then it can lead to some of that guilt and shame cycle with quote unquote, like busting your budget or overspending and all of that, which is why we don't love the traditional view of zero-based budgeting. If I say zeros-based budgeting one more time, you don't know how many times we've had to re-record me saying zeros-based budgeting. If you can take away that perfection mentality or that all or nothing mentality and create a zero-based budget that's a little more flexible, yet still zero-based, this is going to work a lot better for you.
And so the thing that I like most about it is that you are assigning a job to every dollar. I think that's kind of the banner overarching, what is this approach? And so some of the parameters with this is that you are starting fresh each month. Every month is kind of a clean slate, regardless of whether you were over or under in a category the previous month. So I think that is a redeemable quality of zero-based budgeting in that every month is new and fresh. It allows you the opportunity to shift kind of what your categories look like, but every month you will be saying where every dollar is going to go. Of course, like all budgets and spending plans, it's going to include looking at your income, but not just the amount of money you make from your job, all of the money that you are bringing in the month, from freelance work to side gigs to bonuses to gifts that you might receive. We're taking it all into account while also listing out all of the expenses. So what you anticipate that month is going to look like, from subscriptions to takeout to activities to utility bills and mortgage. There's nothing that is too minor or kind of overlooked. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to have such specific categories for all of these things. You know, Jen and I love a very simple minimal spending plan where we don't have categories for like every single minutia of where our money goes. So you can still be kind of broad with it, but where typical budgeting practices are kind of going to say, list out all of your expenses, make sure you can cover that. And then it's kind of loosey-goosey with whatever you do that's left over.
You've got a free-for-all amount of money that's not doesn't really have a place to go.
And maybe you'll discover at the end of the month how much you ended up having left over. This instead is being a lot more concrete with that of with this money beyond what my bills cost me, this is how much I'm putting towards savings. This is how much I'm going to invest. This is how much is going to go to an emergency fund or debt payoff. So being really specific about what the excess might be and where each of that excess is going.
Yeah, this is what I thought traditional budgeting was. This is my first foray into budgeting was zero-based. I didn't know that there was anything different. And I think if I had known that this wasn't actually traditional budgeting, that traditional budgeting did have that kind of like loosey-goosey excess at the end, I would have felt more permission to maybe have like a larger miscellaneous fund or a larger slush fund or something like that to have maybe a little less rigidity in my zero-based budget. So next is we're going to give some examples.
Well, I think it is worth talking a little bit more about the differences because I still think that there's some more to tease apart here between zero-based budgeting and traditional budgeting. And I really like the example that they gave here. So where traditional budgeting will often use the previous month or year as a template, making minor adjustments based on anticipated changes. They give an example of, so let's say we spent $500 on groceries last month. We might think similar this month. Okay, put $500 down as the amount that I'm going to spend on groceries. And that is fine. And that can be, easy and simplified and efficient. But zero-based budgeting is getting a little bit more to the nitty-gritty and is probably especially really good for those of us in debt payoff or who have specific financial goals that we really want to tackle, maybe in like the shorter term or midterm. And zero-based budgeting might ask the question, okay, $500 is how much I spent last month, but what about this month? Does that actually make sense? What if I did $480 on groceries and assigned $20 towards my emergency fund or $20 towards debt payoff? So it's being more specific with the numbers and finagling it a little bit more to be able to achieve some of those goals.
Yeah.
And assessing month to month. Yeah, that made sense last month, but does it still make sense this month?
Yeah, I think a trap we can fall into in zero-based budgeting is that we will give ourselves maybe too many categories or the specificity of it will be making us or leading us to spend money that we don't necessarily need to. So clothing is a common budget category that many people suggest having every month. But do you need a clothing category? And would you be buying clothing because it's normal to have a clothing category and it's zero-based? So we have to start at zero every month. Whereas a traditional budget would not always include that, but maybe have a larger slush fund that clothing could fall into. Or we could create our own flexibility in creating a clothing sinking fund that does not have to be spent every month, but still creates a zero-based budget. And maybe we're only buying clothing like 4 or 5 or 6 times a year.
Yeah. And I think with traditional budgeting, we might not always be aware of any excess dollar that we have. That like, okay, if I spent, $4.90 on groceries instead of $500, like where did that $10 end up going? What are we doing with this? Now, I will say, I'll skip ahead of myself a bit and say, if this is the method we're taking, I do think an app would be the best with this methodology so that we don't have to be so intense about like, okay, well, how much to the penny did I end up spending here and where can I put that money? Like there is a way that we can become so engrossed in this particular method that I don't want us to get so sucked in that it's consuming.
And this is where the problem lies with couples, is that one person's going to be very into the zero-based budget because it's something concrete you can hang your hat on. Every dollar has a job. And the other person is going to want to be less rigid.
A little more loosey-goosey.
Yeah. And so this is something you definitely have to be aware of. If you are finding that your partner is not as interested in the budget, or maybe you're listening and you want to be as excited about the budget as your partner is, but you're just not getting it. And so this is sometimes the reasoning behind that.
Creating a solid financial plan for you and your family should include term life insurance. That's where Fabric by Gerber Life comes in. Fabric offers flexible term life insurance to give you peace of mind and protects your loved ones financially in case the unexpected happens.
Fabric by Gerber Life is term life insurance you can get done right from your couch, all online and on your schedule. You could be covered in under 10 minutes with no health exam required.
This is an important thing to do, especially if you've got kids and certainly if you're young and healthy. The time to lock in low rates is now. Even if you have life insurance through your employer, it may not offer enough protection for your family, and it may not follow you if you leave your job.
Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help protect their family. Apply today in just minutes at meetfabric.com/frugal. That's meetfabric.com/frugal, MEET fabric.com/frugal. Policies issued by Western Southern Life Assurance Company, not available in certain states. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions.
Creativity doesn't wait. It moves, shifts, evolves, just like you. And with the Yoga PC from Lenovo, your tools finally keep up. Stunning, smart, and sustainably sourced, Yoga PCs from Lenovo are designed to amplify your creativity with AI-powered performance. Whether you're sketching, editing, animating, or composing, yoga moves with you, adapting to your creativity, to your rhythm. With beautiful displays and the flexibility to shift from laptop to tablet, yoga unlocks new ways to inspire and create. Because at Lenovo, we believe your tools should fuel your flow, not hold you back. Yoga PCs from Lenovo support you at every step of your creative journey. So check out lenovo.com/yoga and supercharge your creativity with yoga. Lenovo. Empowering creators everywhere.
Dreaming of hydrated skin amidst these dry winter months? Dime offers clean, master esthetician crafted skincare products that deeply nourish, protect, and hydrate. Their formulas, made with clean ingredients, lock in moisture for skin that stays soft, smooth, and radiant all season long. Hydration starts with Dime's best-selling hyaluronic acid serum, delivering deep moisture where your skin craves it most. This lightweight, fast-absorbing serum helps quench dryness, plump skin, and boost elasticity from the inside out. Once your skin is prepped with the serum, seal in all that hydration with their Dewy Day Cream, a rich, luxurious moisturizer designed to provide all-day softness and lasting glow. Together, this powerful duo keeps your skin smooth, supple, and luminous, even in the harshest weather. Shop the duo now at dimebeautyco.com. That's dimebeautyco.com. And get the hydrated skin of your dreams.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you, you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard, based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
All right, let's walk through how to make a zero-based budget and the different ways that you can customize it. So one of the main characteristics of the zero-based budget is that you start fresh every month. Each month is a clean slate, regardless of whether you were under or over in any category the last month, you start anew. And that's a really great benefit of a zero-based budget because you're never going to make a perfect budget and perfectly stick to it. And so our mind bias for being all or nothing can sometimes lead us to like quit and try to start again fresh the next month, which the zero-based budget kind of lends itself to. But if you are moving more towards a balanced approach to budgeting where you're taking in your inconsistencies and your quote unquote mistakes and trying to live with those, you kind of do get this like fresh start in the month. So I'll say the first part that I like to customize on a zero-based budget is I like to take a YNAB approach to saving a month's worth of either income or expenses and having that saved in your checking account ready for the next month. So you're not necessarily starting at zero in your bank account, because that's a dangerous thing to do with a zero-based budget when you're quote unquote spending every dollar and part of that is going to savings outside your checking account. You can get really low in your checking account. And if you've got bills coming in on the 1st, if you don't get paid on like just the right day, that could be dangerous. So what I have always done to prevent this, and what I, recommend is that you save a month's worth of expenses. Not like whether that is you want to do your whole income, because you also consider your savings and investments, your expenses, whatever feels right to you. But you need to have a foundation to start the month off of, even if your budget is starting fresh at zero.
And YNAB is You Need a Budget, and that is a budgeting app who bases their app on zero-based budgeting. And so that's one of the things that they say. You don't want to make a budget off of what's about to be earned, but what you've already earned, what you already have. And I think this approach is especially great for people with variable incomes. You don't totally know what's going to come in month to month. And so being able to approach it with what do we already have in the bank account and making sure that we always have a month's worth of cushion in our checking account that we are making plans for with that money. And then from there, you're going to be identifying all of your monthly expenses, the things that you absolutely have to be paying for, your big ticket items, rent, mortgage, utilities, bills, your cell phone bill, all these things. Then you can think of your subscriptions and memberships and kind of how much you spend on entertainment and activities and dinner out. Those are the categories that can be massaged. Those are not fixed categories. And you can look at bank statements to kind of, this is your 90-day transaction inventory that you can look back at to kind of understand what is the average amount that I've spent, so that you can start with an idea, but again, month to month, we can shift this. And then from there, you're assigning where every dollar is
Did you talk about income?
Mm-hmm.
I think, okay. So we've got our start fresh, assess all of your income. So freelance work, side gigs. This is even like child support, alimony, all of those different things. Then expenses. And now we are massaging. So for a lot of people, you will be in a like kind of a traditional budget sort of place where now you have this extra money that you get to decide where it goes. For some people, that will be a substantial amount of money. And for some people, it will be very little. It's all okay. The amount of expenses you have does not dictate how good you are with money or how capable you are at reaching financial goals. One of the things that I love about the zero-based budget is that it is a very powerful tool when you have a specific financial goal that you are looking to achieve as quickly as possible. So that, I think, is the zero-based budget's real, like, diamond quality, is that it is very good for reaching particular financial goals as quickly as possible. And it's this step right here, is designating every dollar. So if you feel good about where your expenses have gone and now you have this extra, now we get to assign it to other places. So if you've already prioritized your goals first, then maybe we get to add more to fun places or to sinking funds for fun things. If you prioritized your fun first, now we get to designate this to different goals. And honestly, I think we would both say, let's designate goals first. We're looking at our bills, obviously our foundational expenses, and then looking at goals, because we can get in this very maybe like toxic cycle of this I deserve mentality. And we've talked about this before. We've done a whole episode on it, but we don't believe that we deserve or are capable of doing big things financially, whether it's because we never have, the people around us haven't, the people who we do see doing these things, we might judge for some reason, and we don't want to be judged by others in turn. And so we will settle for smaller things because we're like, yeah, I definitely deserve these fun things, these small fun things, dinners out, coffee. I know I have enough self-worth to think I deserve these things. But we don't know what it's like always to get these bigger things that you have to save for or invest for. And so I would encourage everyone to, if you're not putting money towards your financial goals first, to start there first. And after a while, the more you save and the closer you get to reaching these goals, the more you will believe that you deserve and are capable of bigger things than you realized. And so we can't do that without creating this action-based habit. Like these are the actions that we have to do every month, sometimes every week, to form these mental beliefs. Like you can't just say like, oh, you deserve to be able to take a family vacation every year, and then you believe it. That's not the way it works. If I tell you something about yourself, you're not going to just believe it. You have to take actions every month to start to believe these things about yourself. And these are in this budgeting, the order in which you designate your dollars is one of those small actions that you can do every month to gain that self-confidence.
Yeah, I think that's why it is such a good approach for people who are beginning, or like we've already said, have these very specific goals that you want to get after, because you can see progress towards it pretty quickly when you're so involved with where your money is going and being able to adjust and kind of get excited if you see that, oh, I've actually underspent in this category, which means I've got these few extra dollars I can put towards this thing that I've said that I want to be investing in.
Yeah.
And it also gives room for, if we overspent in a category, that we can look at other categories and say, okay, well then what can I decrease as a result? I might have spent more on groceries this month, but I haven't spent all of my miscellaneous budget. So I'm going to decrease that a little bit and just be aware of, not buying as much in that category for this month. And then we reset again next month.
Yeah. And I also want to talk to the other half of our audience that now has put all their money towards their savings goals, their debt payoff, all of this, and now are feeling guilty about the money in these smaller categories, these fun categories. You don't want to put your extra money towards fun things. You want to just put more of it towards debt payoff. And so in a season that is good, if you're looking to pay off your high interest debt in this season, that's a really good mentality. It's hard to tell when you've gotten out of that season though, because there's always another financial goal to reach. And frugal people, for some reason, are always looking to be as efficient with their money as possible, to the point where we fear spending money on small luxuries. We fear putting more money into the clothing budget so that we can buy more sustainable goods or higher quality secondhand goods. Because what if I need that money in my retirement account? I don't know what my medical bills are going to be like in my 60s. And what if I need this money to be saved, right? And so now I'm talking to you. Now you feel seen. All right. We really don't know how much time we're going to get on this earth, right? And so the beautiful thing about a budget is that you get to make the most of every month. Life isn't happening to you. You are happening to life. So how do you want to show up for life? In this 1 month that you get, you will never get this month back. How do you want to live it? Because if you've set these really good foundations into place and if you've created these really good habits, you can be sure that everything will fall into place as it should be in the future. But what are you going to do about this month? So I'm talking to 2 different camps in our audience. So don't get it twisted. You know where you are. You know which camp you need to be in.
Yeah, I had this conversation recently with a friend about kind of identifying enough and how hard that can be to know we might have set a goal. We reach that goal, but then the goalposts can move.
Yeah.
And it feels as though, well, was I accurate about that? Now I've got all of these other possibilities that I'm concerned about and want to risk assess and adjust for. And it can be really hard to not continue to move that goalpost and sit in what we have previously identified is our enough. But that's also tough to say because these things do shift. What was enough to budget for eggs 5 years ago is not enough now. We do have to create space to shift these things, but also have a really good pulse on, no, this is going to be satisfactory for this category. I have maxed out what I need to be putting there, and I can move on to the next goal that I have. And the next goal doesn't have to be the wisest, most efficient thing. It can be that I do really want to spend on this quality product that is going to make my cooking in the kitchen better, more effective, or this thing that I want to invest in my business, or this trip that I want to take with family. If we're not going into debt for it, we have accounted for some of these other goals and we've been able to identify where is enough, where is our contentment, that there is permission to not be the most frugal, the most efficient with every single dollar as well. So they go on to give an example of zero-based budgeting. I think we kind of get it at this point, but just to drive it home, let's say that we've got a monthly income of $4,000 take home. That would mean that we are assigning the different categories. So in this example, this person's rent is $1,200. They've set groceries at $400, utilities at $150, entertainment, dining out, and shopping at $300, transportation at $200, student loan repayments at $500, emergency saving contributions $250, and just regular savings $1,000. Maybe that's investing. All of that, yes, does equal $4,000. Now that's a nice, clean example. Chances are we bring home a much more uneven number than that and change. And so even with that, we are going to be very specific to the dollar with how much goes into each of these categories. And again, month over month, and even within the month, assessing, okay, maybe we're getting close to the end of the month and we're seeing we only spent $50 of our $100 dining out category. What is going to be the plan with that extra $50? Is it just going to go to another category, or is it going to go to one of these more mid to long-term financial goals? But again, keeping that steady pulse on it to be able to assess where it's going to go. And as you've seen, there's pros and cons here.
Mm-hmm. So some of the pros, we've got full financial awareness. So this is really good if you are just starting out. Even if you don't want to zero-based budget long-term, it is a very good method for people starting out because you get a full financial awareness. So we've talked a lot about the zero-based budget, and we haven't mentioned the 90-day transaction inventory by some miracle.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Oh, I did talk about it. It made its way in here. Jen's been also multitasking buying run Disney
tickets. We'll talk about it later. Okay. Full financial awareness. Once you do the 90-day transaction inventory, you will get a picture of where you have been and what has created your habits. And while you are zero-based budgeting, you will get to see those habits in action. And I recommend when you're starting out, at least maybe for the first month, probably doesn't make sense to do it longer than this, but tracking your transactions in real time, like every day. So maybe not in real time, but keeping track of your transactions every day manually. So I love Monarch. It keeps track of my transactions automatically, but it's not what I would recommend if you are just starting out today. You need to be really fully aware of everything that's going on. Do this for a month, and it'll give you a lot more clarity. Another one of the pros, it says flexibility. So the monthly reset allows for adaptability. Lean into that flexibility, because sometimes we can make it rigid when it's actually designed to be flexible. I would say the flexibility you feel on the first of the month when you're making the budget, keep that with you for the whole month. So when you need to change, when you need to put some more into one category and take away from another, don't feel like you're doing that out of inadequacy or failure, but believe that you are being fluid with the budget as life is fluid. And create a larger slush fund, a larger miscellaneous fund. Don't be so rigid with the categories either, because that will help you not have to change over as much money between categories throughout the month. And then again, it's goal oriented. You've got a clear picture of your income and expenses, and you can more easily set and reach your financial goals.
And like we've said, some of the cons can be how time intensive it is. This is certainly not a set it and forget it type of budgeting approach. It requires a good deal of oversight and adjustment, again, which is why we recommend it for people starting out or who have intensive money goals. And there is the potential for overdoing it when you are placing an emphasis on literally every singular dollar. You can become quite preoccupied with the details, and that can be really mentally taxing in the long run. So this isn't even necessarily what needs to be done long term. It could be what the approach that's taken initially to really get a good handle on budgeting so that we can then incorporate even greater levels of flexibility in the future. But you know what doesn't have any cons to it?
Not a single. I mean, the only con is that it ends.
It's the bill of the week.
That's right. It's time for the best minute of your entire week. Maybe a baby was born and his name is William. Maybe you paid off your mortgage. Maybe your car died and you're happy to not have to pay that bill anymore. Duck bills, Buffalo Bills, Bill Clinton. This is the bill of the week.
Hi, ladies. My name is Brenna. I live in Ohio. I'm a fairly new listener to the podcast, but I've been catching up very quickly on all of your episodes, and I absolutely love the show. I wanted to share my bill of the week today. I'm super excited because I get a total high out of saving money and finding really good deals. My husband tells me that's my superpower. So today I was able to pick up my son's dream toy for Christmas, which is a Jurassic World Mosasaurus. Brand new, this toy would cost $65. However, I was able to find it on Facebook Marketplace from a local woman who was just cleaning out toys that her kids didn't play with anymore. I was able to score it for $15. Not only did I get the Mosasaurus, but I also got the giant Indominus Rex, which any other moms out there have kids who are obsessed with dinos would know that this giant Indominus Rex cost $175 new. So I got the Mosasaurus and the Indominus Rex and 2 T-Rexes all for $15. Super excited. My son is going to absolutely love his Mosasaurus, and the Indominus Rex I'm setting aside to give to him for his birthday next year. So that's my big bill of the week and my mom win that I'm flying high off of today because I saved so much money on getting these toys.
Brenna, also like pro mom saving one of the toys for the birthday. So pro.
That is such a pro move. There can be the temptation to just give it all at once, but to realize we don't need it all at once. Parameters are good for us. Limitations are good for us in budgeting and in play.
And it makes the one thing that you're getting more special. The more things you get, the less special each thing is individually. And so if we want something to be more special, we cannot surround it by more stuff. So good job,
yeah, well
Brenna.
done. You saved hundreds and we're here for it. And you bought used and we're here
We
for
love
that too. If you all listening have a bill that you want to submit to us, if it has to do with pro mom moves or your superpower of paying less or buying secondhand or spreading out gift giving throughout the year, or your name is Bill and you want to tell us what your life is like, frugalfriendspodcast.com/Bill. Can't wait to hear it.
The battlefield is set. The stakes are high. The only thing standing between you and victory? Nothing. Ascend to the pinnacle of gaming greatness with Lenovo Legion. Laptops, towers, and the new award-winning Legion Go, the world's first officially licensed handheld, powered by Steam OS. Legion relentlessly pushes gaming technology forward, with towers built for raw, untamed power. Laptops with best-in-class AI tuning that sharpen your reflexes. And the Legion Go, a handheld for serious gaming on the go. Stay ahead with lightning-fast responsiveness on a stunning 16-inch PureSight display. Keep your cool with cold front thermal technology engineered for marathon sessions. And with all-day battery life, the game never stops until you say so. So check out Lenovo.com/Legion. Lenovo. Empowering creators everywhere.
Dreaming of hydrated skin amidst these dry winter months? Dime offers clean, master esthetician crafted skincare products that deeply nourish, protect, and hydrate. Their formulas, made with clean ingredients, lock in moisture for skin that stays soft, smooth, and radiant all season long. Hydration starts with Dime's best-selling hyaluronic acid serum, delivering deep moisture where your skin craves it most. This lightweight, fast-absorbing serum helps quench dryness, plump skin, and boost elasticity from the inside out. Once your skin is prepped with the serum, seal in all that hydration with their Dewy Day Cream, a rich, luxurious moisturizer designed to provide all-day softness and lasting glow. Together, this powerful duo keeps your skin smooth, supple, and luminous, even in the harshest weather. Shop the duo now at dimebeautyco.com. That's dimebeautyco.com. And get the hydrated skin of your dreams.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you, you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard, based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
During tax season, your sensitive info does a lot of traveling to places you can't control. Stopping off at payroll, your accountant or tax preparer, and countless other data centers on its way to the IRS. Any of them can expose you to identity theft because they all have the info on your W-2, just the ticket for criminals to steal your identity. No wonder the IRS reported tax fraud due to identity theft went up 20% last year. You need LifeLock. They monitor millions of data points per second and alert you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialists will fix it, backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. And restoration is guaranteed, or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Get LifeLock protection for tax season and beyond. Join now and save up to 40% your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock and use promo code iHeart or go to lifelock.com/iHeart for 40% off. Terms apply.
And now it's time for the lightning round.
Pew. What's the best thing you've ever budgeted for? Jill?
Travel.
Of course.
You know it. I'm a millennial. But it is true for me. I love it. I just bought last-minute tickets to Puerto Rico. Friends of ours texted us saying that they have an Airbnb for the whole month, and if we want to come visit them, we'd have a free place to stay, and plane tickets were inexpensive, but I also have a sinking fund for travel that I can just use at my leisure. And we were able to say yes because we had the money, and I loved spending the money on that. As much as I don't love seeing an account with money in it drop, knowing what it's going towards, it is a category I feel shame-free, guilt-free about.
Nice.
How about you?
I would say the first thing that comes to my mind was when we saved to buy the house that we live in now. We had originally saved to buy an investment property and just we're not competitive with all the cash buyers. So what we had to do was buy a house and live in it. And now we rent out our original house, which was not what I wanted. But I can see that the 2 miserable years of renovations and the moving, and it will pay off financially. I kind of just came to that conclusion because the house we bought is large, so we've been renting out a back portion, and it's also on a double lot, so we have a vacant also land. So we essentially have our house that we live in, 2 rentals and vacant land. So that was a good financial move. I am putting it into perspective now. As much as I actually don't like being a landlord, eventually it will pay off.
So you're saying when you had budgeted for this additional property?
Yes. Yeah, we budgeted and we saved up for it for, I think, 2 years to put a down payment on, essentially. So, yeah, I'm going to say that. It's not exciting, but it is relevant right now.
Well, and in the long term, that's a big deal. Like, not only did you receive something that you have value for now, but it's kind of what's one thing you can do now that makes other things easier or unnecessary in the future. Like, having budgeted for that is massive for your overall kind of retirement.
Yeah, especially
plan.
now because we're making a lot less than what we were when we saved for that house. We could not do that now. A, because we're making less, and because the interest rates are just too high. We did buy at the top of the market, but still, we're going to make out okay. Mm-hmm. So that, I think, is the thing that it's not sexy, but I think in a few more years, I'll be
I think
happy I did it.
Real estate investing is sexy. It's one of the most sexy things that people are doing in the personal finance space.
I guess. It's not crypto.
Yeah.
No, you won't hear that from me. All right. Thank you so much for listening. We love reading your kind reviews of the show and of our book, Buy What You Love Without Going Broke. And this one is about the book. It's from Stephanie, 5 stars. What I love about the Frugal Friends podcast also shines through in Buy What You Love Without Going Broke. It's sitting around with a group of friends who are passionate about financial well-being, but you are excited to listen. Let's face it, reading about finances sounds a little dry, but Jen and Jill have a way of making it relatable while driving your curiosity to really delve into understanding how to better manage your money to fit the values you've prioritized for your life. I was blessed with an advanced reader copy, but sometimes the ADHD wins. So I grabbed the Audible version on the release date and walked around my yard and the grocery store until I finished. The fact that I picked up and put down a planner in the aisle of shame at Aldi, only later to reach the passage about well-intentioned but unused planners, is not lost on me. I'd recommend this book to anyone who's trying to wrap their head around their finances, wants to get there with your everyday kind of people who may never be billionaires, but may want to fund a billion memories instead. Happy reading.
Oh, that's cute.
That's cute, Stephanie.
What a really
Thank you.
thoughtful review. And thank you for also getting the audiobook. We've been getting a lot of good feedback about the audiobook. I mean, I think people are accustomed to hearing our voices. So being able to hear us read the book in our own words, we're getting some fun feedback on that. So we'll love it. If you also have not picked up a copy, please do so wherever you get the book. We hope that it will help you in similar ways as it helped Stephanie, and probably in your own individualized ways. So thanks for reading. Thanks for listening. If you like both, if you like either, please take a minute to leave a rating and review of the show wherever you're listening and wherever you purchase the book. It helps new potential listeners and readers figure out if this is going to be for them and just grow our community with more of you people who loves this shame-free, fun, approachable take on.
See you next time.
Frugal Friends is produced by Eric Siriani.
All right, come clean, Jen.
Okay. I'll just say I didn't want to record this episode till I was done. And Jill essentially forced me to. So if I was a little divided in my attention, it's not my fault, okay? This morning was Wine and Dine registration for the Run Disney Wine and Dine Half Marathon at the end of October. And if you've ever registered for a Run Disney race, you know you have to be there 20 minutes before it opens, and you get into the waiting room, and then you just wait until they let you in to buy the registration. And it was, as soon as they give you a number, it's never going to take that long. So they gave me my, 59 minutes, and then it just went down. And about a half hour later, it had opened up, but Jill didn't want to wait to record. And so I had to keep the thing up on my laptop across the office and wait. And finally, when my time was up, I put down the microphone and I went over and registered for the half marathon, and I got in.
Are you done?
I am done.
Okay, here's my side of things. It said that it was going to be, I think when we pressed record, it was 36 more minutes. Like, that's worth it to start recording, because we've got to record 2 episodes today and you only have so much time before you have to go pick up your kids. So it's worth it. We'll just stop whenever you need to go purchase your Run Disney tickets. NBD, we have editors. But you know what's interesting to me, though, is you were the most distracted actually after you had purchased the tickets. I did not notice dual attentions. So she actually, to get real nitty gritty, because whatever, we're here talking to our real fans. You purchased the tickets at our first ad break. So we were about 13 minutes in.
Right. And
it was after that ad break that you weren't sure if I had mentioned the 90-day transaction inventory, that you didn't know whether or not I had already talked about
I'd had a pattern interrupt,
Right.
like I was in and then I had to go buy the tickets and then I had to mentally get back into the episode, and it was hard and I didn't want to do it.
You did do it though. But see, that's the thing. I don't know if it would have been any different if we had waited to record. You might have still been distracted by the fact that you
wouldn't
just
have. I would
purchased
have
these tickets.
I would not have, because I would have
after the purchase.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
After I had to get up and walk over to my laptop and go fill something out and then come back and rejoin the mind flow that is the episode. And that was difficult for me to interrupt the pattern.
Oh, I mean, I think it was a great episode. I'm so glad that we did it. I'm not mad about this. I'm just making observations and being curious.
Yeah. The whole time, my attention was in 2 different places. And luckily, I've talked about zero-based budgets enough that I could talk about them in my sleep.
So you're going to do this in October.
With my friend Sarah.
And what are you most looking forward to about this? This is something that you've planned for. You've been talking about doing this for a long time. I don't know if you've been setting money aside or what the budget looks like.
I do what I want
this.
when I want, Jill.
Yeah.
That's my budget.
What are you most looking forward to about this race?
Getting to train with a friend. I usually do them alone. So, yeah, I get to run with a friend for this one.
Will you guys train together too?
Sometimes. She lives in Clearwater. So, like, we might maybe meet up between St. Pete and Clearwater a couple times to train together. But we are similarly paced already.
Nice. Are you on Strava?
I am.
Are you impressed that I know what that is?
I'm sure Sharon told you. I don't know, it was before or after her bowels let loose. I'm sure now you know a lot about Strava. What did she say about her Strava?
Oh, I don't know. She's just always on it, like updating stuff in Strava.
What is there to update?
Well, you tell me. Isn't it where runners go and you put your info in? Isn't it like Goodreads, but for runners?
No. I mean, you track your runs. So at the start of a run, you press start, and at the end of the run, you press stop.
And there's nothing else you do in Strava?
I have gotten kudos before from random people. We'll say, good run.
Uh-huh. Can you update if you, I think she might have put in that she did a race or
maybe she titled her run
or something.
Maybe. Yes. You can add that to your, after it's stopped, you can make notes.
Yeah. Maybe that's what.
Yeah. There are no games or anything.
Yeah. See if you can catch them all.
That would be fun. That would be probably more fun.
Wow. Exciting. So glad you're going to do the wine and dine. You didn't lose out on your spot in line.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm excited.
Yay.
It's a lot of money, but I am not broke.
It's gone now. Can't get it back now. No refunds for Disney.
There aren't actually. You can't get a refund.
Oh, I know that.
She's seen Encanto more times than she can count. And she can count to 10. She mentioned Mirabel in every conversation. But the moment she actually met Mirabel, she was speechless. That's pura magia. Find yours at Walt Disney World Resort.
5 years, 10 months, and 2 days. That's how long it took to grow the 38 inches to ride on Cali River Rapids. But the moment the wait finally ended, that was pura magia. Discover it at Walt Disney World Resort.
The Unshakables podcast is kicking off season 2 with an episode you won't want to miss. Join host Ben Walter, CEO of Chase for Business, as he welcomes a very special guest, Chairman and CEO of JP Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon. Hear about the challenges facing small businesses and some of the uh-oh moments Jamie has overcome. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. Member FDIC. Copyright 2025. JP Morgan Chase & Company.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you, you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard, based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
At David's Bridal, love is in every stitch. From the initial sketch to the final details, each style is designed with exquisite craftsmanship. Every wedding gown, bridesmaid look, prom dress, and special occasion style in between features handcrafted details filled with love. Come see the magic in person. Book an appointment and sign up for Diamond Loyalty to save 15% on your first purchase. Earn points towards special rewards and more at davidsbridal.com.